Hello students, I'm Aniruddha sir here at Infinity Learn by Sri Chaitanya, and today I'm here with the paper solutions, the physics paper solutions for your Grand Test 3. Now this was a comparatively easier paper with regards to physics, so let's see what the questions were and how to solve them. First says that the rate of steady volume flow of water through a capillary tube of length L and radius R under a pressure difference P is Q. Then the rate of steady flow through a series combination of the tube with another tube of same length and half the radius if the same pressure difference P is maintained across the combination. So first up, in the first case, let's write down the relation. So the relation for the flow rate Q is equal to pi P r to the power 4 divided by 8 eta L. This is the Poiseuille's equation, right? This tells you the flow rate with regards to pressure, radius of the pipe, coefficient of viscosity and the length. Now it is said, now we can also represent a formula for the pressure. I'll tell you why I'm doing pressure. Pressure would be equal to 8 eta L into Q divided by pi r to the power 4, right? Now when I have two pipes one after the other and I want the effective pressure across both of them to be P, which means the total pressure in that arrangement should be equal to P1 plus P2. That is the pressure difference across the first pipe plus the pressure difference across the second pipe. Now P1, let's assume that the flow rate would be V, capital V, or let's say Q dash. Let the flow rate be Q dash for each of the pipes. Then our P would be equal to, this P would just be this over here, 8 eta LQ divided by pi r to the power 4, right? And on the other side I have P1 plus P2. Now in both of these cases you have 8 eta L and the flow rate, which would be V. Now remember, the flow rate would change. This is for the original case, right? This is for the original case and also for the case when I'm taking the equivalent of both of them, right? Because in the equivalent case also I want the same flow rate. That is why I've kept the same flow rate here. Now for each of them individually it would be V divided by, for the first pipe it is a series combination of that same tube, so it's pi r to the power 4 plus in the second tube you have half the radius. So for this you would have 8 eta L, same V because it's series, so whatever comes in has to go out from the second pipe. So the flow rate needs to be the same in each of them individually, divided by pi r by 2 to the power 4 because it's half the radius, which means it becomes r to the power 4 here and 2 to the power 4 up here. Now once we see this, we'll see that most of the terms are going to cancel themselves out. You have 8 eta L pi and even r to the power 4 is cancelling out, right? 8 eta L pi r to the power 4 cancelling out, right? And here you have, in that case, your equation now becomes Q is equal to V plus 2 to the power 4 V, 2 to the power is 16. So 16V plus V, that is 17V, which means your flow rate V would be equal to Q by 17. So your correct option is option 2 over here. So the flow rate, the pressure has also changed in each of them, the flow rate also changes, okay? Next we move on to the case where two capillary tubes of same length radii R1 and R2 fitted horizontally side by side to the bottom of a vessel containing water, radius of a single tube that can replace the two tubes such that the rate of steady flow through this tube equals the combined rate of flow. Now first up, in both of these tubes, originally when they are at that horizontal level, their pressures are going to be the same because they are at the same horizontal level below a level of water. And we know pressure is given by H rho g. If they are at the same depth, the pressure would be the same. So in this equivalent pipe, the flow rate Q would be equal to the flow rate of each of them. So this is also flowing at a certain rate, this is also flowing at a certain rate. You want them to combine into a pipe whose net flow rate is equal to the sum of those two. So Q becomes equal to Q1 plus Q2. So Q is, again, we did this, pi p r to the power 4 divided by 8 eta L, and on the other side you will have same pi, same P, because it's the same pressure, you're placing even the new equivalent pipe at the same point. So pi P R1 to the power 4 divided by 8 eta L, and on plus you have pi P R2 to the power 4 divided by 8 eta L. Now over here again most of the terms cancel out and you have R to the power 4 is equal to R1 to the power 4 plus R2 to the power 4, which means your correct option R is equal to R1 to the power 4 plus R2 to the power 4 whole to the power 1 by 4, because it was R to the power 4 here, that shifts there. So your correct option is option 4 in this case. Next question says that the current flow through the resistance in the given circuit is. So here you apply 12 volts, here is ground, so here it is 0 volts and your current is flowing, it's all forward biased over here, right? We don't call it forward biased, it's like it's moving in this direction and there would still be the potential drop across each of them, right? There'd still be the potential drop across each of them when they are forward biased in this way, and in that case you would still have a potential drop across the silicon of 0.7 volts and across the germanium 0.3 volts. We know these values, these are the barrier potentials of these diodes. So that potential drop is anyway going to happen, which means the net potential drop across this is 0.7 plus 0.3, that is 1 volt. Which means in going from this point till this point, crossing these two, your potential has dropped by 1 volt, which means if you measure the potential at say this point, it is going to be 11 volts. 12 minus 1, 11 volts. Now you can calculate what is the current flowing, because the current flowing is effectively 11 minus 0, 11 volt to 0 volts, 11 minus 0, V divided by R, that is 5 kilo ohms, so 5 into 10 to the power 3, that is going to be your current. 11 by 5 into 10 to the power 3, you can check, your answer would be coming 2.2 milliamperes. The milli comes because of this 10 to the power 3 over 11 by 5 by itself is 2.2, and because there's 1 by 10 to the power 3, that leads to the milliampere over here. Next question, efficiency of a heat engine whose sink is at a temperature of 300 Kelvin is 40 degree. To increase the efficiency to 60 degree, keeping the sink temperature constant, the source temperature must be increased by. Now we know the efficiency formula is given by eta, which in the first case is 40%, so we'll straight away write 40% is 0.4, 40 by 100. Eta is equal to 1 minus the sink temperature divided by the source temperature. Now the sink temperature is given as 300 Kelvin. That's the sink temperature. Yeah, sink temperature is 300 Kelvin divided by the source temperature. Let's call that T1. Right? From here we can get the value of T1. So the best way to do that is 300 by T1 would be equal to 1 minus 0.4. That would be 0.6. So you have T1 as 300 by 0.6, remove the 0.6, it becomes 3000 by 6, 3000 by 6 would be 500. So T1 would come out to be 500 Kelvin, right? This is the first case. I've not even gone into the second case. In the second case, what is happening? In the second case, your efficiency is now 60%, which means it's 0.6 is equal to 1 minus, you have the same sink temperature is constant, so you still have that 300, but below that you have, you want to increase your source temperature. So your source temperature is now 500 plus theta. Theta is how much you have increased it by. The source temperature initially was 500 Kelvin. So from here on out you can calculate this and see, so you'd get 300 by 500 plus theta is 1 minus 0.6, that gives you 0.4. So 300 by 0.4 is equal to 500 plus theta, or even you can go the other way as 300 is equal to 500 into 0.4, that 500 into 0.4 is going to be 500 into 0.4 is going to be 200. So 200 plus 0.4 theta. So that gives you 100 by 0.4 is equal to theta. So from 0.4, if I want to go till there, I have to, this would be 250. 250 Kelvin over here. Again, how do you figure out it has to be 250? See, you multiply 2.5 on both sides, on the numerator and denominator. If you multiply 2.5 over here, then you will see that this will go to 1. And this multiplied with 2.5 takes it to 250. So this becomes 250 by 1. So you know it's going to be 250 Kelvin. That's how you speed up your calculations. Moving on, it says two Carnot engines A and B are operated in series. A receives heat at 800 Kelvin and rejects heat at T Kelvin. So that's the source temperature, sink temperature. In the second engine, you have T as the source temperature and your sink temperature is 300 Kelvin. Their efficiencies are equal. So we don't write the individual efficiencies separately. For the first, for engine A, the efficiency is 1 minus the source temperature, the sink temperature T by 800, sink by source temperature, and that is equal to the efficiency of B, where you have similarly 1 minus, now the sink temperature is 300 Kelvin divided by T. 1 minus cancel out. You just have T by 800 equal to 300 by T. Cross multiply, you get T square is equal to 300, T square equal to 800 into 300, that is 24 into 10 to the power 4. You take the root over of this. Root over of this is going to give you 10 to the power, is going to give you out a 10 to the power 2. And root of 24 can be written as 4 into 6. So it's 2 root 6. So 2 into root 2 into root 3. From here on you can calculate. This is going to give you 200. This is going to give you 1.4, right? 200 into 1.4, and there you have another root 3. So I am assuming it would be, yeah, it won't go to any of these whole numbers, that's for sure. So the only option is this. So it would take to this. So you can calculate and figure this out as well. Okay. Next question, equation of the following circuit is, so again write this down in your Boolean form. So first, what you have this as an OR gate, you have a NOT gate here and you have an AND gate here, right? Now between this OR, NOT and AND gate, how are they arranged? First up, you have A and B in the OR gate, which is, if you write it in the form, you have A plus B, right? And the output of that A plus B is going into an AND gate along with the NOT of B. So AND gate means it's a dot here, and that dot, this is coming in as A plus B. This is going into this with B naught. So dot of B bar, right? So it's just I open this up. If I open this up, I get AB bar plus BB bar. BB bar is equal to 0. We know anything along with its complement is going to be 0. So that is AB bar plus 0. AB bar plus 0 is just AB bar. So our correct option here is option 3. Next one, a refrigerator works between 4 degree and 30 degree. It is required to remove 600 calories of heat every second in order to keep the temperature of the refrigerated space constant. The power required is, so here we will use the relation of Q2 by W. So Q2 is the energy you take from the cold body and W is the work you need to do on it. So Q2 by W will be equal to T2 divided by T1 minus T2, right? This is the coefficient of performance as well. Now here we have the values for everything, I'm assuming, but here's the thing that you have to be careful about. Don't use your degree Celsius. I told you when we learned about thermodynamics as well, that whenever you're dealing with these temperatures, as long as you're using absolute temperatures, you're fine. You have to use them in kelvins. Only the difference in temperatures you can still deal with degree Celsius. Otherwise, you have to work with kelvins. So T2 is the cooler, that's 4 degrees Celsius. That's 273 plus 4, that is 277 Kelvin. Divided by T1 minus T2 is, here you can directly subtract. So it's 30 minus 4 degree, that is going to be 26 Kelvin, or 277 by 26, whatever. Now you want the power, right? So power is, you'll first need the work. Work is equal to Q2. Q2 is 600. Q2 divided by this entire quantity. So 600 into 26 divided by 277. Now see, over here when you get the work done, that itself is the power. Why? Because this Q2 is not just the energy, it's energy per second. So that per second, for power you need work per second, right? So that per second is already taken care of by this. So you don't need a time again to divide this by time. You just proceed as this. Okay? But besides this, you also have to take care that this is given as 600 calories. When you want to find it in terms of watts, you have to convert it to joules. Now it's given to you, but this is a formula you should know, that 1 calorie is 4.2 joules, which means this was 600 calories. So to convert it to joules, we need to multiply with 4.2. Now you would say this is a difficult calculation. Why? Mainly because it's divided by 277. How do I figure this out? This is where it's important to look at the options. Because if you look at the options, you will see that they're the same thing, just the order of magnitude is different. Here it's 236, here it's 2365, here it's 2.365. So even if you can get roughly close to something, you will know that is the correct option. So in this case, the way we can approximate stuff is a lot more, right? So let's see what we'll do. So 277 we approximate to be 300. These major approximations won't matter here because all of the options are very far spaced. They're very far apart. Okay, so if I consider this to be 300, then this goes over here with 2. 600 divides by 300 with 2. 2 into 26 is roughly 52. We can even assume it to be 50. 2 into 25, I'm assuming 2 into 25 is 50. 50 multiplied with, forget 4.2, 50 multiplied with 4 is what? It is roughly, it's very vaguely 200. Very vaguely 200. Right? It will be different, but still we have got the order of magnitude. It has to be somewhere close to 200. We have only one option here based on that is 236.5. This is how, if the options are far apart, then you can use very coarse approximations to still get your correct answer. Next one, assertion reasoning. The properties of a paramagnetic and ferromagnetic substances are not affected by heating. This is an incorrect statement because paramagnetic and ferromagnetic substances obey Curie's law. So they are affected by heating. So first statement is incorrect. Next statement says, the reason says, as temperature increases, alignment of molecular magnets gradually increases. This again is an incorrect statement because we know that as you increase the temperature, the molecular magnets, they become more randomly aligned. They no longer have the alignment. If they are aligned and you increase the temperature, that random motion makes the alignments all random. They do not remain aligned anymore. So A is false and R is also false. Okay. Next, a reversible Carnot engine converts 1/4 of its input heat into work. When its temperature of the sink is reduced by 50 Kelvin, its efficiency becomes 33 by 1/3%. The initial temperature of the source and sink respectively are. So again, it's just the same thing. First case, efficiency 1/4 is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1. T2 is the sink temperature, T1 is the source temperature. Second case, what do we have? In the second case, we have, I should have thought this through. The second case, we have 1/3 is equal to 1 minus T2 minus 50. Right, because the sink temperature is reduced by 50 Kelvin divided by T1, right? When I do this, then I have, I can actually simplify this. Let's take it away. I can simplify this. 1/3 becomes equal to 1 minus T2 by T1 plus 50 by T1. See, this is a way of representing. I could have cross multiplied and I've done a lot of stuff, but why do I open up this bracket first? Because now 1 minus T2 by T1 we already know to be 1/4. So I can just straight away put that in here. So 1/3 is equal to 1/4 plus 50 by T1. So 50 by T1 would be equal to 1/3 minus 1/4. 1/3 minus 1/4 would be 12 and 4 minus 3, so 1/12. So it would be 1/12 over here. So again, cross multiply T1 over there, 12 here, 12 into 50, 12 into 5 is 60. So 12 into 50 is going to be 600, which means my T1 is equal to 600 kelvins. I've got T1 equal to 600 Kelvin. From here I can also get that my T2 will be equal to 1 minus 1 by 4, that is 3 by 4, cross multiply the T1. So 3 by 4 T1. So if T1 is 600 Kelvin, 3/4 of 600 is 600 by 4 is 150 into 3 is 450. So T2 is, this is our correct option, where the source temperature T1 is 600 kelvins, so sink temperature is 450 kelvins. Okay. Next, the magnetic field in a plane electromagnetic wave is given by By is 2 into 10 to the power minus 7, sine of 0.5 into 10 to the power 3x plus 1.5 10 to the power 11 t Tesla. The question asks us to find the wavelength of the wave. Now, from the basic standard equation for a wave motion, we know this part is k, the wave number, and on this side, this part is the angular frequency omega. Since we need the wavelength, we don't need this omega, we only need that the wavelength lambda is 2 pi by k. Wavelength lambda is 2 pi by k. I put in the values. 2 pi is 2 into 3.14 would give you 6.28. 6.28 divided by the wave number k, 0.5 into 10 to the power minus 3. 10 to the power 3, right? 10 to the power 3. So 10 to the power 3 would just go up, it would become 10 to the power minus 3. You have 6.28 divided by 0.5, multiply by 2 on top, multiply by 2 up and top. So down part becomes 1, up part you get 12.56. You'd get 12.56 divided by 1, 0.5 into 2 is 1. Up there you have 10 to the power minus 3. So from here you get, it would be 1.26 centimeter. That we got in meters, so this would be 1.26 centimeter. This 12.56 is 12.6 itself. Next, the amplitude of vibration of a particle is given by AM is equal to A naught divided by A omega square minus B omega plus C, where A naught, A, B and C are positive. The conditions for a single resonant frequency is. So this is the amplitude relation, and when would there be resonance? We know resonance happens when this amplitude reaches its maximum value. Now since it's a constant divided by this part here, we know that the amplitude is going to be maximum when the denominator becomes the least. Now the denominator least value can be 0, which means at resonance you have A omega square minus B omega plus C to be equal to 0, which means if I solve, now what I need is that the resonant frequency, right? That is generally what we try to figure out. Even though the question says it differently, we'll still try to figure it out. From here we'll use the relation for quadratic method, that omega is equal to minus b, which in this case would become plus b, plus minus root over b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Okay, now this is the value of omega, and since it's a quadratic equation, you are going to have two values of omega. But the question says what is the condition that you'll have only one single resonant frequency, which means this should not give you two values but a single value. From quadratic equation we know that we'll get a single value if this part goes to 0, because then if this part is 0, there is no plus minus term, it would just be b by 2a, which means for our criteria to solve is that b square minus 4ac should be equal to 0, or that b square should be equal to 4ac. Only then will you get only one value of omega, one resonant frequency. So your criteria is that b square should be equal to 4ac. Okay. Next, the particle of mass m oscillates at the end of a spring constant k and is acted upon by a damping force b is equal to minus bv. Its motion would be critically damped if, now this is a standard relation we know from the relation for the angular frequency in a damped oscillation, which was given by omega dash is equal to root over of k by m minus b square by 4m square. We know from this that in critically damped state this has to exactly go to 0, which means you want k by m to be equal to b square by 4m square. Again, if you just shift the terms, 1 mass cancels out, you get 4, you have b square equal to 4mk, so you have b to be equal to root over of 4mk, so 2 root over of k into m. Okay, this is the correct option for this. This is a critically damped case. This you might even know as a standard relation, straightforward. I just showed you from where it comes as well. This is a mass of 2 kg oscillates on a spring. Force constant is given. Damping force is given. When this happens, then the frequency of oscillation, how much does it decrease by when you introduce the damping? Now, originally, what is the frequency? Originally, the frequency would be given by omega naught is equal to root over of k by m. Now, k value is given to you as 50, m value is given as 2 kg. So, you have 50 by 2, that is 25, root over of 25 is 5. So, omega naught you get as 5, right? 5 second inverse or radians per second inverse, whatever. And in the next case, when you have omega dash, your omega dash would be your frequency after damping. Your omega dash would be equal to just the relation we did last, k by m minus b square by 4m square. B square by 4m square. Now, k by m we already got is 25. So, it would be 25 here minus b square, b is 12. So, b square would be 144. 144 divided by 4m square, m is 2. So, 4 into 2 square, that is 4 into 4, that is 16. 144 by 16 is 9, right? 144 by 16 is 9. So, we have 25 minus 9, that is just root over of 16. Which means your omega dash is equal to 4. Now, we want what is the percentage change, how much does it decrease by, which means we want the percentage decrease as omega naught minus omega dash divided by the original frequency omega naught into 100, that is 5 minus 4. 5 minus 4 divided by omega naught, that is 5 into 100. 5 minus 4 is 1, 1 by 5 is 0.2, 0.2 into 100, that is it will decrease by 20% over here. Yeah, 20% is the decrease. Next, we have two lenses of a compound microscope at a focal length 2 centimeter, 5 centimeter. Object is placed at a distance of 2.1 centimeter from the objective of a focal length. Of 2 centimeter, the focal length is 2 centimeter. Final image forms at the least distance of distinct vision of the normal lens. Find the distance between the objective and the eyepiece. Alright, so firstly for the objective we will figure it out. For the objective, we know for any lens formula, let's do this here. It would be 1 by v minus 1 by u is equal to 1 by f. Right, now v is something we don't have yet, but u we know. So first up we need to find v. So 1 by v is 1 by f plus 1 by u. 1 by v would be f would be given as 2 centimeters. So 1 by 2, and the object is placed 2 centimeter in front of the lens, which means u would be minus 1 by 2.1. It would be minus 2.1 centimeter. If you figure this out, v would be 2 into 2.1, 2 into 2.1 divided by 2.1 minus 2. So 2 into 2.1 is 4.2 divided by 0.1, that would be 42 centimeters. Right, that would be 42 centimeters. That is the image distance of the objective lens. Now for the eyepiece, right, for the other one. So over there, we know what v value is because it is formed at the least distinct of distinct vision, which is 25 centimeter. So in the second case, again same relation, 1 by v is equal to 1 by v minus 1 by u is equal to 1 by f. Let's keep v as vo because it's a image distance of the objective one. So here you have 1 by v minus 1 by u equal to 1 by f. We know 1 by v. We need to figure out 1 by u because f is also known to us 5 centimeter, right? So 1 by u is 1 by v minus 1 by f. So 1 by u becomes v is given as v is 25 centimeter minus this is 5 centimeters. So 1 by 5. That makes u as 25 into 5 divided by 30. 25 into 5 is 125 divided by, my bad, it would be 20 over here, right? 25, it would be 20 over here. Did I do everything correctly? Yeah, that would give me roughly 6 point something. I think I might be making a small mistake here somewhere. V naught is 42 centimeter, that is fine. 1 by V minus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. 1 by V minus 1 by F. V value is, oh my bad. V value will also be negative. Why? Because if you recall, in the microscope, you have the final image. The final image that you get is again a virtual image, and it is formed behind the lens, right? So even V value will be negative. The F value is positive. F is negative here because it comes on the other side, but V value is negative. That is why you have minus 25, minus 30, right? So that makes it, this would still remain 125, but down below you will now be having this part as 30. Be having this part as 30, and you have a negative sign because the object is obviously in front of the lens. So this will give you something like, it would go with 4, 120, 30 into 4 is 120, then you get 5 out, 50, so that goes with 1, so this would go with roughly 4.1, 50 by 30, you get 20 out, 200, so it would go to roughly 4.16, okay, roughly there it would go to, and there's a negative value. Now, why do we need the object distance of the eyepiece and the image distance here? Because I'll draw a rough, very quick diagram of the microscopes. In a microscope, you had the objective lens here, you had the eyepiece over here, and if you recall, this was suppose the principal axis, the objective creates an image, and that image acts as the object for this to create the virtual image back here. Right, whatever image the objective creates, that is the object for the eyepiece, which means if I want to find, they've asked us for the distance between objective and eyepiece. So if I want this distance, then that is just the image distance of the objective plus the object distance of the eyepiece. So you've got the image distance 42 of the objective, which is this length. We have got the object distance of the eyepiece, which is 4.16. So the net is just the sum of 42 and 4.16. So 42.4.16 would be 46.16 or 46.17. If we would have gone another decimal, we probably would have rounded it off to 4.17. So the correct option is 46.17 centimeters. Next, light with an energy flux 18 watt per centimeter square falls on a non-reflecting surface at normal incidence. If the surface has an area of 20 centimeters square, find the average power exerted on the surface in a 30-minute span. Now this 30-minute span you don't even need, right? Because you want average power, and since there's a constant energy flux falling, you don't need to worry about it because you want the average force. It is anyway going to be cancelling out the time. You already have the average value over here. So how do you proceed with this? We know that the pressure on a fully absorbing surface, so here it's completely absorbing, the pressure is just the I by C, intensity divided by the speed of the wave, or the speed of light in this case, because it's light coming in. Okay, this is the pressure. We need the force. Force is just the pressure into area, which is just the I by C multiplied with the area. We have been given the area, we have been given the intensity I, and we can also figure out what this is given intensity, and we also know what the speed of light is. Now see, over here I will not bother converting them to SI because intensity is also given in centimeter square, area is also given in centimeter square, and I can see that they're eventually going to cancel each other out. The centimeter squares are going to cancel each other out. So I'll have this as 18 into the area, that's 20, divided by 3 into 10 to the power 8. Okay. See, centimeter it would have been 18, 7 centimeter square would have been down, 20 centimeter square would have been up, they would have cancelled out, and that is why I don't convert. If you have any centimeter square remaining, you will have to convert it to SI. So be careful of that. Now from here this can go with 6. So you have 6 into 20, that is 120. 120 into 10 to the power minus 8, that is 1.2 into 10 to the power minus 6. Do we have that? Here we have it, that is option 3 over here. Next, a screen is placed 50 centimeter from a single slit illuminated by 6000 Armstrong light. If distance between first and third minima in the diffraction pattern is 3 millimeter, what is the width of the slit? We know what the relation for the minima in diffraction is. It is given by A sin theta is equal to n lambda. Now if you have a small angle, then we know that sin theta can be approximated to be tan theta. Sin theta approximated to tan theta essentially makes sin theta is equal to the position x, wherever you have from the central point, wherever you have the minima on the screen, that distance on the screen, x divided by the distance of the screen from your slit, that would be capital D over here. So we can even represent this as sin theta x, x is equal to would become n lambda capital D divided by A. A is the slit width. The question asks us for this slit width itself. Now in the question they have said that between the first and the third minima you have a distance of 3 millimeter, which means your x3 minus x1 would be equal to 3 lambda capital D by A minus lambda capital D by A, because n value would be 3 in the first case and 1 in the second case for x1 and x3 respectively. Now this is given as 3 millimeters, so 3 into 10 to the power minus 3 is equal to 2 lambda capital D by small a. 2 into lambda value is given as 6000 Armstrong, 6000 into 10 to the power minus 10 into capital D is given to us, it's 50 centimeters, so 50 into 10 to the power minus 2 divided by A. A is what we need to find, so I should have thought this through. We'll bring this A here, bring this 3 down here, but we don't need to do that because some terms are going to cancel out. For instance, this 3 I can cancel out to give you 2 into 10 to the power 3 from this, like 2000 from here. 2000 can cancel out with this 2 and 50 would give you 100, right? So 250 cancels out with 10 to the power minus 2, because 100 into 10 to the power minus 2 would cancel out. You have 10 to the power minus 3 here. This 10 to the power 3, when there's also 2 here by the way. So when this 10 to the power minus 3 comes down, it would go up top as another 10 to the power 3. So you have essentially A is equal to, your A would become equal to this 2 that has still remained, because this 2 and this 50 has gone with that 10 to the power minus 2. 2 that has still remained, 2 into 10 to the power 3 into 10 to the power 3, that's 10 to the power 6 into 10 to the power minus 10. That will make your, I'll keep this here itself, that will make your A value as 2 into 10 to the power minus 4 meters. Alright, so that would be 0.2 millimeters. They have given it in millimeters. So 2 into 10 to the power minus 4 meters is 0.2 millimeters. Okay. Next up, we have assertion and reasoning. Assertion: it is not possible for a system unaided by an external agency to transfer heat from a body at lower temperature to another body at higher temperature. This is correct. Like a perfect refrigerator cannot exist. You have to, when you take energy from a colder body, you have to do work to transfer it to the hotter body. Second, it says that according to Clausius' statement, no process is possible whose sole result is the transfer of heat from colder to hotter object, and this is also correct. The reason is also correct, and the reason is in fact the reason for this. So our correct statement is R is the correct explanation of A. So the Clausius statement is what prohibits the creation of a perfect refrigerator by the second law of thermodynamics. Two Polaroids cross to each other, one of them is rotated through 45 degree. Percentage of incident unpolarized light that passes through the system would be. So suppose the incident light that comes in with a intensity I naught, right? So we want to find what is the intensity coming out after the second polarizer. So that be I dash, and we can add, just keep piling them on. So first up, when it passes through the first polarizer, we know when an unpolarized light passes through a polarizer, its intensity immediately drops by half. So this is what happens after the first polarizer. Now as it goes from, this is the intensity going through the first polarizer to the second polarizer, there the angle change is 45 degree. Now by Malice's law, we know the effect that will have is that it will reduce it by cos square 45 degree. Right, this is basic Malus law. Now we have taken the effect of both the Polaroids. This part comes because of the first Polaroid, this change comes because of the second Polaroid. So cos square of 45 degree is just another half, so it will become I naught by 2, because cos 45 is 1 by root 2, square that you'll get half. So my bad, it would actually be into 2, that is I naught by 4, right? They have asked what would be the percentage of incident unpolarized light that passes through. So we need the percentage of this that passes through. The percentage would just be 25%. 1/4 of the original, 1/4 means 25%. Next one, it says that the mass of an iron rod is 80 gram, magnetic moment is 10 ampere meter square, density of iron is given, value of intensity of magnetization. So the intensity of magnetization, M is equal to the magnetic moment divided by the total volume. Now the volume is not provided to us, but the mass is given and the density is given. From there we can extract out the volume. So firstly, it would be the magnetic moment M divided by mass. So mass we'll write it full, otherwise we'll confuse. Mass into up top we have the density. Mass by density gives you the volume. So we put in the values. We have that given as 10 ampere meter square. The density we need, the density is 8 gram per cc. 8 gram per cc, we have to convert to SI, that is kg per meter cube. So this is going to become 8,000. It's going to become 8,000 kg per meter cube. And down below you have the mass, which is 80 gram, which would become 80 into 10 to the power minus 3 kgs. Again, convert everything to SI unit. Why? Because this is in SI units. So either you have to convert everything from there to the CGS or keep it as is. That is a safer option. So from here you can get this 10 and 10 you can cancel out. 8 cancels out, gives you a 10 to the power 3 here. That makes it 10 to the power, everything is cancelled, it's just 10 to the power 3, and this 10 to the power minus 3 goes up to add another 10 to the power 3. So the net effect is 10 to the power 6 ampere per meter. Okay. Next, it says that the overall gain of a multi-stage amplifier is 100. When negative feedback is applied, gain reduces to 10. Find the fraction of output, that is feedback to the input. This is again a direct formula. We know that the new gain, the reduced gain, is given by A dash is equal to the original gain that should have been there, A divided by 1 plus A beta. Beta is the feedback, that is the percentage that is fed back into it. Okay, and you can see because this denominator is here, it's going to be a reduced value. So A dash, which is the new gain, is given as 10. A is the original gain, is given as 100. 1 plus 100 into beta, right? So just cross multiply things here. You have 10 plus 1000 beta is equal to 100, right? Which means your 1000 beta is equal to 90. 1000 beta is 90, or your beta becomes equal to, yeah, we have the answer, becomes equal to 0.09. So your correct option is option 1. Again, almost a straight formula based question. Next up, we have the flow rate of water from tap of diameter. This is 0.48 liter per minute. The coefficient of viscosity is given. We have to find the Reynolds number. Now the relation for the Reynolds number, what do we know it to be? Re is equal to rho Vd divided by eta. Rho is the density of the fluid flowing, V is the speed with which it's flowing, D refers to the diameter of the pipe, and eta is the coefficient of viscosity. Now we have been given the coefficient of viscosity. We know the density of water, it is 1000 kg per meter cube. We know the diameter of the pipe, it is given to us, right? But the speed of flow is not given. So we have to put in the speed of flow over here. Now putting in the speed of flow, how do we get that out? We have been given the flow rate. Flow rate is Q, right? And Q is equal to V into the cross sectional area, which would be pi into d by 2 whole square, right? सर एक कट करना, ये आंसर शीट लेके आना कुछ बोले, आंसर शीट कहाँ छोड़ दिया मैं? Now we'll move ahead to the numerical question. The first one says that the flow rate of water from a tap of diameter 1.25 centimeters is 0.48 liters per minute. Coefficient of viscosity of water is 10 to the power minus 3 pascals. Find the Reynolds number. Now over here we have this was actually be Poisson, not pascals, my bad. The Reynolds number RE we know is equal to rho VD divided by eta. Rho is the density of the fluid, V is the speed of the fluid, D refers to the diameter of the pipe, and eta is the coefficient of viscosity. Now rho we know, it's said that it's water, so rho is 1000 kg per meter cube. D is the diameter provided to us, eta the coefficient of viscosity is also given to us. Now from here on out we can actually figure out what this V is, because that is what we need. Now to find out V, we have been given the flow rate, and the flow rate Q is equal to the speed into the cross sectional area. So this would be V into pi into D by 2 whole square. I've replaced, instead of R square I've kept it D by 2 whole square because the diameter is provided, which means this would be Q, which means our V would be equal to 4Q divided by pi d square, right? I've just send everything over to the other side. Now we can put in that value of V over here, so that we get the relation for Reynolds number as rho into 4Q d divided by eta into pi d square. Now one of the d's are going to cancel out, which means your relation now becomes RE is equal to, just put the 4 up front because it looks a bit better, 4 rho Q divided by pi eta d. Now everything we have, we know the density is 1000 kg per meter cube, flow rate is given as 0.48 liters per minute. So convert this to your meter cube per second, right? Remember 1000 liter is 1 meter cube. So convert accordingly, 1 minute is 60 seconds, convert. So bring everything down to their SI units, then put them, even the diameter is given in centimeters, so use it in meters over there. You calculate, you will get the RE value as 815. I'll refer to my sheet here, teacher privilege sheet here, 815. So the first answer would be 815, the Reynolds number. Next question, a Carnot engine works between 600 Kelvin, 300 Kelvin. Each cycle of operation, engine draws 1000 joule of heat. Efficiency of engine. So this is a useless value because it doesn't depend on it at all. Efficiency only depends on the source and sink temperature. That's it. Any Carnot engine, doesn't matter how much energy it's taking or what it's doing. If it's working between these two, Carnot engine will have the same efficiency that is given by eta is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1. So this becomes 1 minus T2 is 300, T1 is 600. So 300 by 600 is half, so 1 minus half. This is eta, 1 minus half is just half. So eta is equal to, first let me write the half value, then I'll represent it like that, is equal to half, which is equal to 50%. We represent in percent because they have asked you for it in percent. So this answer is 50%. Okay. Next up, an audio signal is given by ES is equal to 15 sine 2 pi 2000 t, modulates a carrier wave given by ES is equal to 60 sine 2 pi into 10 to the power 5 t. Calculate the percentage modulation. This is very standard, straightforward relation. We know the percentage modulation is given by the amplitude of the signal wave divided by the amplitude of this carrier wave. That is just 15 divided by 60. Since it's a percentage, we multiply with 100. This goes with 4. 4 goes with this, with 25. You have the percentage modulation as 25%. Okay, so your answer to this would be 25%. Let's represent that here. Or if it's since a numerical answer, the answer would be 25. Next one, a transmitting antenna at the top of a tower has a height of 32 meters and the height of the receiving antenna is 50 meter. What is the maximum distance between them for satisfactory communication in line of sight mode in kilometers? So line of sight mode means you know that you have the surface, you have one antenna here, another here. They should be in line of sight. Now there is again a direct relation for that. The distance between them, D would be equal to root over of 2r into L1 plus root over of 2r into L2. R refers to the radius of the earth, L1 and L2 refers to the height of the towers. So you put the values in, 2 into 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 multiplied with, the first one is 32 meter, you can take whichever one first, doesn't matter because they are added up, plus root over of 2 into 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 into the next height is 50 meters. Okay. From here on out, again it's basic calculation. You can try to simplify things a bit, because if you look here, 2 into 32 would give you 64, so maybe you can extract 64 out from here. Similarly, 2 into 50 would give you 100, so that merges with this 10, and 6.4 you can extract out as 64, which is root over of 8, which is square of 8, so you can extract 8. So you can simplify things a bit. At the end of the day you would roughly have, so let's, if you want, I'll even try that out. So it would be 2 into 32, that is 64. I'll borrow 110 in here, so I'll get 64 out. 64 into root over of 10 to the power 5. And on this side I will be having 2 into 50, that is 100. That makes 10 to the power 8. But I need to borrow 110 for my 6.4 to make it 64. So that 10 to the power 8 becomes 10 to the power 7. 64 coming out of the root becomes 8. 8 root over of 10 to the power 7, that is remaining. Again, from 10 to the power 5 you can extract out 10 to the power 4, which would come out as 10 to the power 2. My bad, this is 64. This is 64 into 10 to the power 2 into 10 to the power 2 into root 10, plus from here you can extract out 10 to the power 3, because 10 to the power 6 you can group 10 to the power 6 into 10. So 10 to the power 6 coming out would give you 10 to the power 3. So 8 into 10 to the power 3 into root 10. Again, put in the values of root 10. You can spread up root 10 into root 2 into root 5, proceed accordingly as well. And the final answer to this you should be getting as 45.5 kilometers, which would be approximately 46 kilometers. So your answer would be this. So these 10 to the power 3s, this is your in meters, right? Because we're dealing with everything in meters. So this 10 to the, you will actually get 46 into 10 to the power 3. Since they've asked you the question solution in kilometers, that is why the 10 to the power 3 is just used to define the kilometer. The answer would be 46 for you. Would be actually be 45.5 plus something, but that rounded off becomes 46. Next question, the amplitude of a damped oscillator A0 at t equal to 0 is A0 at t equal to 0, it becomes A0 by 27 at t equal to 6. The amplitude at t equal to 2 is A0 by n. So we know the standard relation A is equal to A0 into e to the power minus gamma t. This is how the amplitude changes in a damped oscillation. Now over here in the first case we have A0 by 27 is equal to A0 into e to the power minus gamma into 6, right? This is our first case, which you can cancel out the A0s to get this as 1 by 27 is equal to e to the power minus 6 gamma. And on the other hand, in the t equal to 2 seconds, what is happening? We have A0 by n is equal to A0 into e to the power minus gamma into 2 minutes. Seconds, minutes doesn't matter. As you will see, the second minutes won't matter to us here. So that makes it 1 by n is equal to e to the power minus 2 gamma. Now from here comparing this might look a bit confusing, but here's how you simplify stuff. Look over here. I can represent this as 1 by 3 to the power 3 is equal to e to the power minus 2 gamma to the power 3. Right? I can write it like this. E to the power minus 6 gamma just means e to the power minus 2 gamma to the power 3. And over here also I have root 3, which means I can use root over on both sides. I can use the cube root on both sides. And what would that give me? That would give me 1 by 3 is equal to e to the power minus 2 gamma. Now look, 1 by 3 is e to the power minus 2 gamma. 1 by n is e to the power minus 2 gamma, which means your n value is equal to 3 just by comparing these two. So this is how you simplify. So you might be very confused that how do I figure it out? You might have to use logarithms and so on. Don't go there. Try to see. There will always be a quicker way to do it. Okay. Next, a telescope consisting of an objective focal length 60 meter and a single eye lens of focal length 15 centimeter focused on a distant object in such a way that the parallel rays coming out is comes out from the eye lens. If the object subtends an angle of 2 degree at the objective, angular width of the image is in degrees. So over here we know the relation for magnification, m is equal to FO by FE, which is just the objective focal length divided by the eyepiece focal length. That's 60 by 15 here, 15, that is equal to 4. That is my magnification. Also I know that the magnification is equal to the angle of the image divided by the angle subtended by the object, theta I by theta. Theta object subtends an angle of 2 degree, it is given to us. So m is 4, theta I is what we need to find, theta O is 2 degrees, so we get theta I as equal to 2 degree into 4 is equal to 8 degrees. So the answer for this is 8. Straightforward question, formula based. Next up, the amplitude of the sinusoidally oscillating electric field of a plane wave is 60 volt per meter, amplitude of the magnetic field is, again direct relation, B naught is equal to E naught by C. E naught is 60 volt per meter, 60 divided by 3 into 10 to the power 8, 3 cancels out, gives you 20, that makes it 2 into 10 to the power minus 7 Tesla. So the answer here is just 2. Okay, again straight formula based. Next one, unpolarized light of intensity 32 watt per meter square passes through 3 polarizers such that transmission axis of the last polarizer is crossed with the first. If the angle between the axis of the first two polarizers is 30 degree, then the intensity of emerging light is. So let's draw out, if I'm seeing from straight up front, then if my first polarizer looks like this, my third polarizer is going to look like this. The transmission axis would be this. Why? Because it is said that the last polarizer is crossed with the first. So the angle between them would be 90 degree. They are crossed. So if only they were used, no light would go through. But in between you have put in the second polarizer, which is at an angle of 30 degree with the first one. So this is number 1, this is number 2 and this is number 3, and this angle is 30 degree. Right? Again we will write the intensity relation I dash. As soon unpolarized light comes in at I naught, as soon as it passes through the first polarizer, it drops by half. So it becomes I naught by 2. After it goes past the first polarizer, I naught by 2 is passing into the second polarizer. There Malus's law would apply. So you would have cos square of 30 degree. So this amount of intensity is passing from the second polarizer and going towards the third polarizer. Now in the third polarizer, now this polarized light now is already moving at this angle. It's already moving, it's no longer going this way. After first it was unpolarized. After the first polarizer, it moves straight like this, vertical. Then after the second polarizer, with its intensity reduced, it now goes at that angle. And when it hits the third polarizer, what is the angle between the light coming in and the transmission axis? The angle, as you can see from here, is 60 degrees. So that is why when this light, this intensity passes through the last polarizer at an angle of 60 degree, you will apply Malus's law again to this to get cos square of 60 degree. So from here on out, it's just putting in the values. I naught is given, the intensity of unpolarized light 32 divided by 2. Cos of 30 is root 3 by 2. We square it, so it becomes 3 by 4. And cos square of 60, cos of 60 is half. So square it becomes 1 by 4. Right? So this 4 and this 2 all cancel out with 32 because 2 into 4 into 4 is 32 and you're just left with 3. So your answer is just 3 watt per meter square. Okay. that is, yeah, it's 3 watt per meter square. Next one, current amplification of a common base configuration is 0.88. Find the value of the base current when the emitter current is 1 milliampere is n into 10 to the power minus 5 amperes, then the value of n is. So we have been given the current amplification 0.88. In a common base, we know current amplification is just this alpha is equal to IC by IE. Alpha is IC by IE. IC value is, I think IE value is given to us. Emitter current is given as 1 milliampere, which means IC is equal to alpha IE, which is 0.88 into 1 milliampere, that is 0.88 milliampere. That is your IC. Now we know at the junction where the transistor is, there you should have the Kirchhoff's law, and from that we also know that IE, the emitter current, should be equal to the collector current plus the base current, the standard relation. Now we have the emitter current already given to us. We have just found the collector current over here, which means we can find the base current. IB would be equal to IE minus IC. So IB is equal to 1 milliampere minus 0.88 milliamperes. That makes it 0.12 milliamperes. 0.12 milliamperes. Since they have asked it in representation of 10 to the power minus 5, this can be written as 12 into 10 to the power minus 5 amperes. So your n value is 12, right? Next, I think this is our last question. It says that a bar magnet has a coercivity of 4 into 10 to the power 3 ampere per meter. It is desired to demagnetize it by inserting it inside a solenoid 12 centimeter long having 60 turns. The current that should be sent through the solenoid is. So this is the coercivity, this is that H value. So we know the magnetic field associated with this, that is needed. The magnetic field needed, BC, should be equal to mu naught, because I'm assuming it's free space over there, mu naught into that coercivity value, HC, which is just mu naught into this value. We won't write it here. And inside the solenoid, we know that the magnetic field B is equal to mu naught N into I, where N refers to the number of turns per unit length, I refers to the current flowing through it. Now since this solenoid magnetic field is able to change that coercivity, like demagnetize it, that means this magnetic field should be equal to the magnetic field needed to completely demagnetize, which is the coercivity, right? So these two have to be equal. Once you equate them, you effectively get Ni is equal to Hc. Hc value is given to us. Now n is the number of turns per unit length. They have given you the total number of turns, that is 60, and the length is given as 12 centimeter. So the number of turns per unit length becomes, so let's first write it, I is Hc by n. Hc is 4 into 10 to the power 3, 10 to the power 3 divided by this n, number of turns per unit length, deals with the number of turns divided by the total length. Total length is 12 centimeter, that is 12 into 10 to the power minus 2. From here on out, we have to calculate to get this I. What do we have this? 10 to the power 3, 10 to the power minus 2. When they cancel, they leave you 110, right? This cancels with this. You have 110 remaining. You can cancel out that 10 over here. So you have the 6 then going out with this 12 to give you 2. 2 into 4, and your final answer is your going to be 8 amperes. So the solution to this, the current that needs to flow in the solenoid to demagnetize it is 8 amperes, or your, so they've asked you for the answer in 8, so it would just be 8 over here. The solution to this would just be 8. So that's it. Those were all the questions. Like I said in the very beginning, this paper was comparatively a lot easier because most of the questions were formula based. If you know the standard formulas, you would be able to solve them, and even solving them would be pretty quick. There are not too many elaborate calculations involved over here. Also, it's not a paper where many concepts are punched together. So the goal here for you should have been to do this physics paper as fast as possible and focus on the other ones, because generally in your JEE, if one of physics or something is easy, then there is generally some other subject that is a bit more difficult to compensate for that. So your target here should be, you should be able to score entire 25 out of 25 of this, and then move ahead to the other paper as quickly as you can. That's it from this session. I'll see you again in the next paper solution.
Hi dear students, welcome to Infinity Learn by Sri Chaitanya. This is Bashir, Math faculty. Right, let us see the discussion of math part now. You see GTM 3 related paper. So the first question, the Boolean expression, that is negation of P and Q or Q, is equivalent to, right? Let us see dear students. You see the first one, this expression is equivalent to, in the sense, you see in the total question how many variables are there is the first question. There are two variables P and Q, and we just require negations also. Let you put negation P and negation Q. Now when there are two variables, there will be two cases, true true, true false, false true, false false, four cases, right? Accordingly you write negation P, which is false, false, true, true. Negation Q now, this is false, true, false, true, right? Now coming to this particular part, we want equivalent to, means the truth tables must match, right? So P and Q is very much familiar. P and Q means first case is true, all the other will be false. So negation of this means I can say clearly false, true, true, true will come. You see, I don't want to write all the columns completely. Now this and Q you just observe, or is the operation, false or true will become true, and true or any statement is true, my dear friends. So the given one is true in all cases. In fact, it is a tautology. Now you need to check which of these is a tautology. Friends, P implies Q can never be, right? We know it's truth table. P implies P and Q. When P is false, false implies any statement is true. But when P is true, my dear friends, so Q you choose as false, true implies false is false. This is not the answer. I am not writing the truth table. It is not possible every time, but in some questions it is possible. Without completely writing the truth table also we can do. See, P implies Q. When P is false, anyhow it is true. You just choose the case where P is true, so Q will be false. True implies false is false, true implies false is false. It is not a tautology, then it must be the answer, my dear friends. Because when P is false, the statement is true. When P is true, implies true or any statement is true, my dear friends. True implies true is true. So overall this statement is true in all cases. So option 4 is the right answer, my dear friends. So this is one method. Our second method, simply you write the truth table for given one and all the four options, you choose which two are equivalent. So undoubtedly this is the one. Before that, my dear friends, here I want to tell you one important point. You see, while writing these, do remember false statement and any statement, it may be true or false, it is going to be false itself. Any statement is false. Just try to remember these will help you in answering certain questions. And a true statement, or whatever the statement is, the result is true itself, because true or true is true, true or false is true. And false implies any statement is true, my dear friends. These three things sometimes save our working time. Okay, false and any statement is false, true or any statement is true, false implies any statement is true, my dear friends. Okay, so these things I have used in answering this question, right? Next, second question. You see, dear students, union of I is equal to 1 to 50 xi is same as union I is equal to 1 to n yi is the set T. Now each xi contains 10 elements and each yi contains 5 elements, right? If each element of set T is an element of exactly 20 xi's and exactly 6 of yi's, then the value of n is. Same kind of question was there the previous year question, so it is a bit modified question, numerical changed question. You see, one thing you can say, suppose each xi contains 10 elements, there are 50 such xi's, maybe certain things common. Suppose if I list out all, how many will be? 50 into 10, that is 500 elements will be. When you do union of all these, common things we write only one thing. So the union of all these things is T, right. Here one important information, each element of set T is an element of exactly 20 of X size. That means friends, out of these 500 elements, when you do union, each element appeared 20 times. You see my dear friends, each Xi has, we can say 50 elements, altogether that means 10 elements, 50 such sets, 500 I have suppose kept on the ground. Of these you can see that each element repeated 20 times. So total number of elements in T is going to be this by 20 my dear friends, right. Then next here the same logic for second set, each Yi contains 5 elements, there are n such sets and their union is again T where each element repeated exactly 6 of Y's, 5n by 6. Both these expressions represent the number of elements in T, so they are equal my dear friends. So you can say 5 10 times, so 0 can be cancelled, you can say 10 by 2 is 5, n is equal to 30. 30 is the answer my dear friends, fourth option. Okay. Next, see this question, R1 is the set of, you see, relations on this set 1 to 50, R1 is a relation on the set 1 to 50, right. Then this is 1 to 50 means R1 is from this set to this set itself, 1 to 50 itself, and R2 is also the same set. He is asking, this is going to contain elements like p power n, where p is prime and n greater than or equal to 0 an integer. So friends, if you take first element should be in this set, second element should also be in that. So if you take p is equal to 2 my dear friends, so 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 square, like that I can go up to 2 power 5, 2 power 6 is 64, we can take up to 2 power 5. All these elements are there in R1 and the next prime number is 3. So 3 power 0, this is 3 power 1 and so on. I can go to 3 cube is 27, 3 power 4 is 81. So 3 cube it is going to have, that is 3 power 1, 3 square my dear friends. Now next prime number is 5 power 0, 5 power 1, 5 square 25. Then 7 also, 7 power 0, 7 power 1, 7 square 49. Next prime number 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 power 0, so 11 power 1. You won't get square of any other. You see, we know there are 15 prime numbers from 1 to 50. Here you got my dear friends 6 here, here you will get you say 4 here, here 3, here 3 and here 2, next onward. That means 4 prime numbers are done, then 11 for all the other 11 prime numbers you are going to get. So 2 into 11, 22 here my dear friends. Of these R1 minus R2 he is asking. R2 contains only ordered pairs of kind p power n, where p is prime and n is 0 or 1. N is 0 or 1 means these things I have to take out and these things I have to take out. So for other prime numbers then you won't find any other here. So how many are left my dear friends? Here you see out of 6 2 are gone. So here 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 elements will be left here my dear friends. That's all, simple. So you consider all the ordered pairs which are available in R1. From those you take out these, you are going to get, it is going to be 6. So 8 are left, that's it. Next friends. So the number of symmetric relations defined over this which are not reflexive. My dear friends, how many symmetric relations can be written? You see here there are 5. So A cross A contains, we can say 25 ordered pairs. Out of those 25, identical 1 1, 2 2, 3 3, 4 4, 5 5 kind of 5. Then again you need to group like 1 2 2 1, 1 3 3 1 kind of. So these things kind of will be, you group these, my dear friends. Symmetric relation in the sense, whenever xy is there, yx should also be there. That means you can take any of these one, and if at all you want to take, you have to take these two together, 1 2 2 1 together or leave together, that is it. So friends, out of 25, this kind of will be 5 and the remaining 20 will be paired up, this kind of pairs will be 10. Now number of symmetric relations means each element may or may not be taken two ways, 5 times. Here also 10 bunches, right? 2 power 10 into 2 power 5, 2 power 15 is the number of reflexive relations of, symmetric relations. And there is a formula also directly, number of symmetric relations, 2 power n into n plus 1 by 2, 5 into 6 by 2, which is 2 power 15. But actually I want which are not reflexive. That means remove from these those relations, those symmetric relations which are, you see, he is asking not reflexive. So you just remove those symmetric relations which are also reflexive. Reflexive means it must contain all these 5 and these may or may not be there. So that means the number of relations which are reflexive and symmetric means these 5 must be selected, whereas these 10 may or may not be selected. So which is going to be 2 power 10, my dear friends. So total number of symmetric relations minus number of relations which are reflexive and symmetric will give you those symmetric relations which are not reflexive. Okay, right, my dear friends. So option 1 is the right answer. Next question. In a random variable x, the binomial distribution be 33 comma p means n value is 33, my dear friends, such that 3 times p of x is equal to 0. 3 times p x is equal to 0 stands for 33c0, q to the power of 33 and p to the power of 0 is p x is equal to 1, that is 33c1 into q to the power of 32 into p to the power of 1, my dear friends. So here this becomes q here, this becomes p here. This is 3q is equal to, my dear friends, 33p. So you can say, my dear friends, q is equal to, or q by p is equal to 11. Q by p is equal to 11. Okay. Now you see, in the same binomial distribution, px is equal to 15 means 33c15 into q to the power of, this is 18 into p to the power of 15 by, this is 33c18 into q to the power of 15 into p to the power of 18, e minus the same logic, 33c16 into q to the power of, you can say 17 into p to the power of 16 by 33c17 into q to the power of 16 into p to the power of 17. Now my dear friends, you know NCR is equal to NC n minus r, these two got cancelled, these two got cancelled. Here you will be left with q by p whole cube, my dear friends, the difference is 3 minus here also q by p whole power 1, my dear friends, the difference is 1. So q by p is 11, 11 cube minus 11, my dear friends. 11 cube is 1331 minus 11 is 1320 is the answer. That's it. Next. In the binomial distribution NP such that the sum and product of the mean and variance of the variable. You see, in a binomial distribution in the standard notation, mean is NP, variance is NPQ. You see, the sum is given as 24. As well as product means NP into NPQ, n square p square q is going to be 120, my dear friends. Now you just take NP common and square it, n square p square into 1 plus q whole square is equal to 24 square. Let it be equation 1 and it is equation 2. To find p, q, n, you just divide this with this, 1 plus q whole square by q is equal to, my dear friends, you are going to get 24 into 24 by 128. Yes. So, my dear friends, this you are going to get like 9 by 2. 9 by 2. So, this equation if you solve, q is equal to 2 is one possibility, 1 by 2 is the other possibility. But q cannot be 2, the probability. So, q must be 1 by 2. So, my dear friends, in a binomial distribution, if q is 1 by 2, p is also 1 by 2, right? Because p is nothing but p plus q is 1. Now, you can substitute in any of the equations. Here you can put p square is 1 by 4 into 1 by 2, 1 by 8, 128 into 8, n square is equal to 128 into 8, which is 64 into 16, n is going to be 8 into 4, 32, my dear friends. Now, you know p, q and n also. What do we want? Probability of x greater than n, p x greater than n minus 3. That means p x is equal to n minus 2 plus p x is equal to n minus 1, p x is equal to n. That is all. These three probabilities. You know how to write, my dear friends. This is n is already we can say which is 32. This is n is equal to, this is x is equal to 30, x is equal to 31, x is equal to 32. So, friend, this is 33C30 into anyhow 1 by 2 power 33 you will get, plus 33C31 into 1 by 2 power 33 plus 33C, this is we can say this is 31, this is 32, this is 33C33, 1 by 2 power 33. You just simplify this, my dear friends, you are going to get the probability which is given as k by 2 power n. So, k value is going to be, my dear friends, from this 529 you are going to get. N is already 32, you know, that is all. So, just matter of simplification, dear friends. Next, you see the mean and variance of a binomial distribution, again same kind of question. Mean is NP, my dear friends, is alpha and variance is NPQ is equal to alpha by 3. From these two informations, I can say, my dear friends, Q is 1 by 3, so P is 2 by 3, right. So, you can also write if P is 2 by 3, you can say N is nothing but 3 alpha by 2, this also known, right. Of course, alpha is unknown here. Now, given Px is equal to 1 is 4 by 243. Px is equal to 1 means, my dear friends, NC1 into q to the power of n minus 1 into p to the power of 1 is given as 4 by 243, my dear friends. N is, you can say, 3 alpha by 2. So, 1 is okay, power 1 by 3 power 3 alpha by 2 minus 1, 3 alpha by 2 minus 1 into 2 by 3 is equal to 4 by 243, my dear friends. 2 gets cancelled, 3 also gets cancelled. Alpha by 3 power 3 alpha by 2 minus 1 is equal to 4 by, this is actually 3 power 5, my dear friends. Okay, you just put alpha is equal to 4, my dear friends, and check what happens. This is perfectly fits. This is 4 means this is 6 minus 1 5. So, we get alpha is equal to 4 and hence n is equal to 6. Now, we know the complete data. I want Px is equal to 4 or 5 means in a binomial distribution Px is equal to 4 plus Px is equal to 5. You know what to do, n is 6, my dear friends. 64 into q to the power of 6 minus 4 into p to the power of 4 plus 6c5 into q to the power of 1 into 2 by 3 power 5. You just simplify this, my dear friends, you are going to get like 16 by 23 kind of you are going to get. Simplification you do, you will get the answer, my dear friends. That is all. Okay. So, what you need to do is you have to find alpha and n, accordingly you simplify the things, right. That is all. Next, my dear friends, the sum and product of mean and variance of a binomial distribution are 24 and 128. So, the same kind of question we have done here. You see, sum and product of mean and variance of binomial distribution 24 and 128. You got here, my dear friends, n32 pq 1 by 2. So, here after simplification you will get n is 32, p is equal to q is equal to 1 by 2. Now, the probability of 1 or 2 successes, that means px is equal to 1 plus px is equal to 2. In a binomial distribution, this is going to be 32c1 into q to the, this is anyhow 1 by 2 power 32 you will get, since both are equal to 1 by 2. This is 32c2 into 1 by 2 power 32. You just simplify this, my dear friends, you are going to get 33 power 2 power 28. That's all. Okay, friends, that's all. 33 by 2 power 28 you will get. Fine. Next, my dear friends, you see this question, he has given like conditional probability, table is given, of course, the value of p such that conditional is x less than or equal to 2, means 0, 1, 2 cases only given. I want x is between 1 and 4. 1 and 4 means more than 1 but less than 4. That means only 2 cases. But this is not there in this case. That means this should happen, my dear friends. 2 should happen. This is given. So, I can say, my dear friends, px less than or equal to 2 means 4k, 2k, k, which is 7k, my dear friends, in which I want, this case means this is the only possibility, 4k. 4k by 7k, 4 by 7 is the answer. That's all, simple. Okay. I think you know conditional probability. I given that x less than or equal to 2. In these I want 1 to 4 means this I want, wanted case by total case. That's all. Next, x has binomial distribution p n comma p with parameters n and p such that, same kind of question, px is equal to 2 is equal to px is equal to 3. So, friends, nc2 into q to the power of n minus 2 into p to the power of 2 is equal to nc3 into q to the power of n minus 3 into p to the power of 3. Then E of x, the mean of the variable I want, mean means NP value. You see, friends, here you can cancel, here you will get 1q, here you will get 1p, my dear friends, and NC2 by NC3 is going to be, my dear friends, p by q. You know, NCR by NCR plus 1, we have a result r plus 1 by n minus r is equal to, you see, this is p by q, my dear friends. So, 3q is equal to np minus 2p. All the options are in terms of p. So, convert q also in terms of p. Q you can replace by 1 minus p, which is equal to np minus 2p, which is 3 minus 3p is equal to np minus 2p, and hence np is equal to 3 minus p, my dear friends. I want the mean, which is np is 3 minus p. That's all. Okay. Fine. Next. You see this question, the number of reflexive relations on the set A234 is, my dear friends. So, simple, number of reflexive relations means A cross A will contain 3 into 3, 9 elements. So, out of those 9 elements, 3 identical pairs, 6 will be the remaining elements. So, reflexive relation means you must take these 3 elements, the remaining you may or may not take. For these 1, 1, 1 possibilities, for all the remaining 6 elements you have 2, 2, 2 possibilities. The answer is 2 power 6, which is 64. Of course, number of reflexive relations formula is 2 power n square minus n, because A cross A will contain n square elements, identical pairs will be n. So, 2 power n square minus n is, both are correct and correct explanation even. Okay. Next, friends, a vertical tower AB of height 2h stands on a horizontal ground, and from a point P on the ground a man can see up to height h of the tower with an angle of elevation 2 alpha. You see, my dear friends, suppose this is the tower whose height is 2h. Now, suppose this is, okay, a man can see up to height h only. Suppose this height is h, this height is h, a man can see up to height h here with, okay, with an angle of elevation, this is 2 alpha, my dear friends, 2 alpha, fine. Then when from P he moves a distance d in AP bar direction. Suppose this is AB, he must mention A is the base, this is P. AP bar direction means he is moving little far away, and he can see the top B of the tower with an angle of elevation of alpha. So, the top is observed with an angle of elevation of alpha. Okay. Given he moved here distance of d units, this distance is given as d units. Of course, d is equal to root 7 h. Then tan alpha is equal to. Okay, fine. First thing here, let it be x, my dear friends. Tan 2 alpha is going to be, we can say h by x. Tan alpha I can say like, you see, 2h by d plus x. X is the extra one, so you need to remove this. So, d plus x minus x is nothing but this is 2h by tan alpha minus h by tan 2 alpha. Am I correct? This is going to be d, my dear friends. So, you will get, but d is equal to root 7h is equal to 2h by tan alpha minus h by tan 2 alpha. Okay. So, h can be taken out in the entire equation. Now, we got a trigonometric equation in tan alpha. I want tan alpha, better you take tan alpha is t, my dear friends. Root 7 is equal to 2 by t minus tan 2 alpha means 2 tan alpha by 1 minus tan square alpha. So, friends, I can say you write it as 4 by t. So, 2t into, so 2 root 7 into t is equal to 4 minus 1 is 3 minus t square, 3 plus t square in fact, my dear friends. So, you got a quadratic equation in t which is 3 plus t square, that is t square minus 2 root 7 into t plus 3 is equal to 0. You solve this equation, quadratic equation, you are going to get one of the roots as root 7 minus 2. Okay? That is all, my dear friends. Option C, simple calculation. Next, you see statement 1, for all n greater than, P of n is true for all n greater than or equal to 1 and n is a natural number. P, okay? If he is saying that P of n is true for all n greater than or equal to n, if P of n is true for n is t and t plus 1 for all t belongs to n. Yes, suppose whenever the statement is true for t plus 1, it is true for all n, correct, because if you put t is equal to 1, it is true for t of 1, p of 1, p of 2. So, suppose 1, 2 correct, then p of 2, p of 3. Since 3 is correct, p of 3, p of 4, like that one induces the next one. So, we can say that this statement is valid. Of course, any statement P of n is true for all n belongs to n by the principle of mathematical induction. So, not any statement, generally a statement can be proved by the principle of mathematical induction wherever it is possible. So, we can take both are true granted. Some ambiguity in second statement, but we can say first statement is absolutely correct, but in second statement some ambiguity. So, there is no proper information to give clarity. Okay? Right. Next, the angle of elevation of top of a tower from 3 collinear points ABC on the line leading to the foot of the tower are, you see, there is a tower, my dear friends, this is here on the ground. 30 degrees means it must be far away, then B, then C. From here it is making 30 degrees angle of elevation, from here 45 degrees, from C it is making 60 degrees angle of elevation, my dear friends. Okay, then the ratio of AB is to BC. Simple, friends, suppose this is H. Since it is 30 degrees, this total is H root 3, my dear friends, because tan 30 degrees is 1 by root 3. Tan 45 means this is H, my dear friends, both are equal. Tan 60 means this is H by root 3, my dear friends. Yes. Now, AB is nothing but, you see, h root 3 minus AB, h root 3 minus h by BC is nothing but h minus h by root 3. You can cancel h, root 3 minus 1 by 1 minus 1 by root 3, finally root 3 you are going to get. So, the answer is root 3 is to 1, my dear friends. That is all. Next, you see, a person standing on the bank of a river observes that the angle of elevation of the top of the tree on the opposite bank of the river is 60 degrees. Tree, river, person, angle of elevation 60 degrees. Okay. And when he retires 40 meters away from the tree, the angle of elevation becomes 30 degrees. So, he moved 40 meters away from the tree, this side, and he observed that angle of elevation to be 30 degrees, my dear friends. Okay. The breadth of the river is, I want the breadth of the river. Yeah. You see friends, suppose this is height h, this is 60 means this is h by root 3, my dear friends, h by root 3. Yeah. And 30 means this is going to be totally h root 3, h root 3. So, the difference friends, h root 3 minus h by root 3 is going to be 40. So, h into 3 minus 1, 2 by root 3 is equal to 40, h is equal to 20 root 3. Okay. There may be some printing error in the option, but it is 20 root 3 is the answer, my dear friends. Height is 20 root 3. Got it friends? You see how beautiful practically a person standing here without traveling through the river, just by 2 simple calculations, he measured the breadth of the river. You see, that is the beauty of heights and distances, right. Next, these are equivalent to, my dear friends. You see, in total, this is equivalent to negation P when R is, here R is introduced, which is nothing but either P, Q combinations only. So, my dear friends, I can say there are 2 variables P, Q. For convenience, negation P, negation Q, you just take cases true, 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 false. You can do this fast only friends. Do not think that it takes a lot of time to write the table. Negation P is going to be false, false, true, true. Negation Q is false, true, false, true. I want that statement which is equivalent to this. That is false, false, true, true I have to get, my dear friends. Options are available. Okay. So, you can compute this part also, P and negation Q, my dear friends. P and negation Q means you will get false, this is true, this is false, this is false. False, true, false, false we are going to get, and by implies case you have to get false, false, true, true. You just put P and P is P, you just apply by implies friends. Suppose first option I assume in place of this, P and P is P itself. So, now apply by implies between these two. First one is becoming true, but I have to get false, this is not the right answer. Negation P, if you take P and negation P is false, my dear friends. Contradiction, no. P and negation P is always false. False by implies, you see, suppose this is completely false, friends, false by implies false, true you have to get. So, this is also wrong. You just put Q, my dear friends. P and Q already available. P and Q means you will get, my dear friends, like true, false, false, false. Apply by implies, this is false, this is false, this is true, this is true, perfect. Q option, third option matches, that is all. So, may take little time, but you will definitely can answer this question, my dear friends, right. Next, you see, this kind of questions are being given. He is trying to give little time taking questions, but you can answer this. So, please focus on this topic, mathematical reasoning. For which of the following symbols this becomes a tautology? Tautology is a compound statement which is always true, my dear friends. Arey yaar, P, Q, there are no negations, so happy, 4 cases true, 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 false, false, true, false, false. P and Q we know, no, this is always true, false, 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 4 cases we know. And P or Q also we know PRQ means friends true, 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 false. Implies Q, my dear friends. This is true implies true is true. True implies false is false. True implies true is true. And false implies anything is true. This is the one, my dear friends. So, this I have calculated, this I have calculated. Now, which symbol is to be taken here so that it is a tautology? If you put and, this won't be true, or this won't be true. Implies true, 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 true. Implies is the answer. That's all. That's all. Okay. Right, next. You see friends, the conditional statement means P implies, this is all together one statement, my dear friends. Yeah, is all together one statement, is tautology, contradiction, something. Friends, one simple observation, whenever P and Q is false, there will be three cases where P and Q is false. What is that? Is it true, false, false, true, false, false? False implies any statement is true here. So, in three cases it is true. Only one case is left where P is true, Q is, you see, both are true case. False implies any statement is true. So, that means we got four cases, true, 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 false, false, true, false, false. In all these three cases, P and Q is false. False implies any statement is true. So, the overall statement is true. Now, the only left out case is true, true. You substitute P true, Q true here. What happens here? This is false or this or statement is kept, my dear friends. False or any statement, you see, negation P is false or something. We don't know about this, but you see, or is there. Fine, good. Negation P is false or something is there. False or some statement is going to be, we can say, true or any statement is true, false or any statement is ambiguity we are having here. So, my dear friends, you see, negation here actually there may be some printing error, maybe some and. You see, true or any statement kind of. Here maybe negation is not there here or here. True or any statement is true, true or any statement is true, completely this is true. P and Q implies, my dear friends, P and Q is true. See, true implies true is true. Finally, true implies true will become true, my dear friends. You can write statements in these two. I guess there must be either here or here negation is not there. So, true or any statement is true, true or anything is true, true implies this is also true is completely true, true implies total case becomes true, and hence this case is also it is true. It is a tautology, my dear friends. Otherwise, we need to write cases, it takes time, that is all. Okay. You can also do by taking the cases. The negation of the Boolean expression means this itself, yeah, is logically equivalent to. You see, my dear friends, negation P and Q implies negation P or Q is logically equivalent to. So, you can see, my dear friends, the negation of this, please observe that. So, I think you know, my dear friends, one thing you can write the truth table, but negation of P and Q, I think you know P and negation Q, this property you might have studied. So, negation of this is asking P means negation Q and P, negation P and negation Q. What about its negation, friends? This is P and negation Q. Am I correct? Negation of P or Q will become negation P and negation Q. So, luckily all symbols are and itself. By associative law, negation Q and P and negation Q, my dear friends. P and P is P. So, I can say this is P and negation Q, my dear friends. P and negation Q, do you remember negation of P implies Q? P and negation Q itself. So, these two are the same, my dear friends. This is the equivalent. It is not easy to do all the problems in this way, but sometimes you can do, otherwise you just write the truth table and verify. Okay. Next, the negation of the Boolean expression is equivalent to, arey yaar, this is P or something whose negation is negation P and its negation. Its negation is P or negation Q, my dear friends. Now, why don't you go with distributive law? P and Q under negation P and P or negation P and negation Q. P and negation P is contradiction, friends, always. Contradiction means false statement or this statement, negation P and negation Q. Arey yaar, false or something means something will come. If it is true, it is true. If it is false, it is false. So, I can say this is equivalent to negation P and negation Q, my dear friends, which is going to be, is it there, negation P and negation Q? Second option is the answer. That's it. Okay. Next I can say. Then the mean deviation about the median for the numbers these. Arranged in the ascending order. That means he has already arranged in the ascending order. That means what are the numbers? 3, 5, 7, 2k, 12, 16, 21, 24. He is asking mean deviation about median, right? So, first of all you need to find the median. So, there are 8 items. So, even number of items, you have to take the average of these two. 2k plus 12 by 2 will become k plus 6 is the median. Finally, he is also asking us to find the median, right? So, k plus 6 value I need to find. So, I need to find k value. So, mean deviation means, my dear friends, you can say here deviation about the median. Mean deviation formula is sigma mod xi minus x by n. So, from each entry you have to subtract k plus 6, my dear friends. Okay. So, modulus of 3 minus, or you can write here k plus 3, you can write here k plus 1, you can write, and here you can write k plus 1, because the difference only, no, the difference means k minus 1, it is k minus 1 plus, my dear friends, you can write 2k minus k is k minus 6 plus you can say k minus 10, this is k minus, yeah, you can see, my dear friends, k plus 6 minus 16 is k minus 10, this is k minus 15 plus k minus 18 by number of items is going to be 8. Now, my dear friends, you do remember, as they are in ascending order, 2k must be more than 7 but less than 12. So, that is 7 by 2 less than k less than 6. K is a number more than 3.5 but less than 6. So, k plus 3 will become as it is positive, k plus 1 is also positive, k minus 1 is also positive, k minus 1. The next k minus 6. You see, friends, k value is less than 6, right? So, k minus 6 is negative, this becomes 6 minus k, this is 10 minus k, this is 15 minus k, this is 18 minus k, if you take out the modulus. Now, you just add, my dear friends, 3 plus k's, 3 minus k's get cancelled, this plus 1 minus 1 got cancelled, you can say this is 33, 43 plus 6, 49, 52, my dear friends. 52 minus k by 8 is the mean deviation given as 6, my dear friends. So, 48, k is equal to 4, my dear friends. When k is 4, accordingly you can get k plus 6 value. So, simple, friends. So, two simple observations: find median, then apply the formula. To evaluate the modulus, you use this information, that is very much helpful for us. Okay? Right, friends. Next question. The mean and variance of 5 observations. Okay, there are 5 observations, mean is 24 by 5 and variance is 194 by 25. Then the mean and variance of the first 4 observations is 7 by 2 and a respectively. Then find 4a plus x2. Arey yaar, 5 items, mean 24 by 5 means what is sigma xi of first 5 items into 5. This is mean into 5 is 24. What is the mean of the first 4? Let me write with capital Xi. is 7 by 2 means into 4, 14. That means fifth item, say x5 is nothing but 10, my dear friends. That's all. The next, the variance means sigma xi square by n minus average square 24 by 5 whole square is going to be the variance, which is 194 by 25, my dear friends, from which sigma xi square by 5 is equal to, this is 576, right? 576 plus 194, this is 200, 776, right? 770 by, yeah, this is 25. So 5 times, this is going to be, my dear friends, this is 154, right? Sigma xi square. In the same way, you compute sigma capital Xi square. Sigma capital Xi square by 5 minus, what is the average? 7 by 4, my dear friends. That is 7 by 2 whole square is equal to variance is A. That is, my dear friends, this is A, my dear friends. So I can say here, this is sigma xi square. So this is completely 154, in which 10 square is also there, which is 100. If you take out 100, this is 54, my dear friends. 54 by 4 minus 49 by 4 is equal to A, which is, friends, you can say it is going to be 3 by 4. We can say 5 by 4. A is equal to 5 by 4. So you got A value. Now substitute here. This becomes 5. This is already 10. Total 15 is the answer. That's it. Simple. Okay. Simple, friends. These formula are very, very important in statistics. That is, variance formula is very, very important. Next, friends. You see, the mean and variance of 7 observations is 8 and 16 respectively. If the observations 1, 2, 3, 5 are given, then the absolute difference of the remaining 2 observations. Friend, this model is very important, because the 2022 June, July attempt as well as 21, you see this model you can see more than 6-7 times. Same kind of question with little modifications he is giving. I can say this is a triple star question in statistics, my dear friends. Don't miss this question. You see, out of 7 observations, he has given mean as well as variance also. So here he has given only 5 items. So rest, suppose what are the 5 items? 2, 4, 10, 12, 14. The left out 2 items, let it be A and B, my dear friends. What about the sum? Mean 8 means 8 into 7, 56 is the sum. See, this is going to be, this is 14, this is 26, 36, 40, 42. 42 plus A plus B is going to be 56, my dear friends. So A plus B you are going to get 14, first equation connecting A and B. Now variance means sigma xi square, my dear friends. 2 square plus 4 square plus 10 square plus 12 square plus 14 square plus A square plus B square by 7 sigma xi square by n minus average square. Average is already given as 8, my dear friends, 7 items, 8 square is variance, which is 16, my dear friends, from which you will get A square plus B square, right? So I am not going to solve. So you see, if you simplify, you got A plus B is equal to 14, you will get A square plus B square is equal to some number. I just want absolute difference, means mod A minus B, which you can write, my dear friends, which is equal to, you can just write how to take A square plus B square is there. If you just square A square plus B square plus 2AB is equal to 196. If you substitute this here, you will get AB value. Now you can write A plus B whole square minus 4AB, you write. So my dear friends, you will get mod A minus B, this value. That's it. So this model is very, very important, friends. Please do remember. Next, the mean and standard deviation of 50 observations are 15 and 2 respectively. Okay, there are 50 observations, mean is 15, Friends, sigma xi by 50 is equal to 15, sigma xi is 750, and the variance means sigma xi square by n minus n is 50, my dear friends, by average, that is 15 square is equal to 2 he has given. It is found that one incorrect observation was taken such that the sum of the correct and incorrect observations is 70. If the correct mean is 16, then the correct variance is equal to. You see, my dear friends, it is found that one incorrect observation was taken such that the sum of the correct and incorrect observations is 70. My dear friends, from this suppose x1 is incorrect, okay, 750, actually x1 is incorrect, it should be capital X1 suppose, okay, x1 plus this is wrong, this is right, sum of these two is going to be, he said 70, okay. In fact, my dear friends, to get the actual sum, now out of 750 I have to subtract xi and I have to add x, right. So now this by number of items is going to be 70 itself. The correct mean is 16 here. So 750 minus of small x, okay, x1 minus capital X1 is equal to 16 into 7, 1120. So you will get from this, you can say capital X minus small x value you will get. Already capital X plus small x is equal to 70, already there. You can find capital X and small x values, my dear friends, right. You just do the calculation, you are going to get this is 750 in the sense 250, 350, 370 this is 370 and this is going to be 70, my dear friends. This is capital X plus small x. Okay, so we just want, if you just add to, this is 440, so capital X is 220, my dear friends, 220. Okay, so I can say, my dear friends, if the correct mean is 16, then the correct variance is, yes, you can just find from this, the old one you can remove, from this you just find small xi square, this is 225 plus 2 is 227 into 50, my dear friends. From this small xi square, you remove x1 square and add capital X square, because you are going to get capital X and small x. Now, with this you can find the correct variance. This is going to be, say, sigma y square, suppose. Sigma y square by 50 minus new average is 16 square is going to give you the answer, my dear friends. Okay. So this calculation will be there. This is all basic algebra you can do, but my dear friends, this model is important. This lengthy calculation is also being given in JEE mains. Be ready and you can easily attempt these questions. Next, friends, the median and the range of 4 numbers such that, you see, the 4 numbers given are x, y, 2x plus y, x minus y, given 0 less than, y less than, x less than 2y. So we need to I want median 4 numbers, so I need to arrange in ascending order. So he has already given y which is less than x, of course all are positive, x is definitely less than 2x plus y undoubtedly, and where should I put x minus y? You see, he has given x less than 2y, you subtract y, x minus y is less than y, you see. So x minus y will be here, my dear friends. This is the order. The median, in the sense there are 4 items, y plus x by 2 is going to be the median, which is 10. So y plus x is equal to 20, and we can say, my dear friends, range means maximum minus minimum. 2x minus x is x, y plus y is 2y, x plus 2y is going to be 28. The difference, y is equal to 8, so x is equal to 12. Okay. So now then the mean of the numbers is, once you know x, y, you can find this. So you can say the numbers x minus y is 4, y is 8 and x is 12, and 2x plus y, 24 plus 8, 32. I want the average of these two, 40, 52, 56, 56 by 4, which is 14. That's all, simple, right? Next friends, you see A is set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, B is 3, 6, 7, 9. Then the number of elements in the set such that C kind of, which are subset of A, but the intersection with B is non-empty. That is the beauty, non-empty. So friends, how many subsets of A will be there? Undoubtedly, I want finally subset of A itself. Each element can be taken, may are taken, may not be taken. 7 items are there, 2 power 7, that is 128. Okay. Out of these, remove those which are completely disjoint with B, because I want those subsets of A. If they are completely disjoint with B, you remove. All the other will have some joint with B. So how many disjoint? 3 shouldn't be, 6 shouldn't be, 7 shouldn't be, 9 anyhow not there. How many subsets of A will be there in which 3, 6, 7 are not there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 elements are there. So 2 power 4, 16 such subsets will be, my dear friends. So this is going to be 128 minus 16, that is 112, my dear friends. That's all. Next, you see the mean age of 25 teachers in a school is 40. Okay, there are 25 teachers, average age is 40. A teacher retires at the age of 60 and a new teacher is appointed in his place. Okay, if now the age of the teacher in the school is 39 years, okay, then the mean age of the teachers in the school is 39 years, then what is the age of the newly appointed teacher? Right, my dear friends? So I can say, friends, actual total is 25 into 40, which is 1000. From this, retired teacher's age should be taken out, which is 940 now. Now it should be added with new teacher's age. So my dear friend, this is 940 plus x. This must be, this is the new sum. This must be, now new average is 39 for 25 teachers, right, altogether, which is, my dear friends, 940 plus x is equal to 1000 minus 25, 975. X is going to be 35. That's all. New teacher's age is 35 only. Okay. So you can also say one thing, my dear friends. Okay, fine. 35 is the new average. Okay. Fine. Right. So I can say, my dear friend, next one, a student appeared in an examination consisting of 8 true false type questions. The student guesses the answers with equal probability. Okay, for each question 1 by 2 is the chance. The smallest value of n, so that the probability of guessing at least n correct answers is less than 1 by 2. Your probability of the event must be less than 1 by 2. N I don't know, such that he has to get at least n correct, right? Guessing at least n correct. R is equal to n, you see, 2 out of 8 questions. R is equal to 1 to n, that means n or n can be correct or n plus 1 can be correct, like that. R is equal to n plus 8. Correct means NCR into 1 by 2 to the power of n minus r into 1 by 2 to the power of r. This is sum of all the probabilities where correct is more n or more than n. This must be less than 1 by 2, my dear friends. This I can say 1 by 2 power n, you can take common, into 1 by, this is n is nothing but, I see friends, 8 CR, I can say 8 minus r, this is 1 by 2 power 8 into sigma r is equal to n to 8, this is 8 CR is less than 1 by 2. So my dear friends, we can also say like this is 1 by 2 you can cancel, this is 256, no? This is sigma r is equal to n to 8, 8Cr must be less than, you can say 128. See my dear friends, 2 power 8 is 256 minus, you can also write sigma r is equal to 0 to n minus 1, 8Cr is less than 128. You just check my dear friends. So that means 256 minus 128, in the sense this is 128 is less than sigma, that means like 8C0 plus 8C1 plus 8C2 and so on, 8Cn minus 1. This should be greater than 128. My dear friends, if you just, what n should be chosen? N1, 2, 3, you just check. When n is equal to 5 or 6, you just take the sum, it is going to be more than 128, and hence n value must be greater than or equal to 5. He is asking smallest value of n, which is 5 is the answer. Next, you see a survey shows 73% of the persons working in an office like coffee, whereas 65% like tea, and X denotes the percentage of them who denote coffee and tea, okay, who like both coffee and tea. Then the minimum number of value of X, suppose X percentage, you see n of C is 73 plus 65 minus X, this is P of A union B. This must be less than or equal to 100, friend, because we are talking in terms of percentage. Altogether it can be 100 or less than 100 also. If it is 98, 2% will be outside, right? So my dear friends, we can say this is 118, right? This is 138 minus X less than or equal to 100. So 38 less than or equal to X. X is greater than or equal to 38. So X has minimum value to be 38, my dear friends. Okay. Next, the number of equivalence relations defined on a set is number of partitions, my dear friends. Partition means how many different parts you can do. For example, friends, one is empty set 1, 2, 3, 4 is a partition. Partition means splitting into subsets. No two are joined, that means any two parts should be disjoint and union of all those should be total set, that is called partition. Partition means splitting this into number of parts like this. This is a partition. This is one partition. You can put singleton 1 here, 2, 3, 4 here. This is 1. This kind of will be, my dear friends, 4, because you can put here 1, 2, 3, 4 here, 4 such possibilities. Then 2, 2 you can put, suppose 1, 2 here, 3, 4 here. Actually, how many such possibilities? 4 C2, 6 possibilities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, same partition. So you will get here 3 such cases, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3 and 1, 4. Like the remaining will repeat. So there are 3 such cases, 2, 2, 1, 3, 2, 2. That is, then why don't you put like 1, 2, 3, 4. You see such cases. Again splitting it like 1, 2 in this set, that is 1, 1, 3, friends. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here you can maintain 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 4. 6 such possibilities will come here. 6 such possibilities, friends. And the last one I can say splitting into 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, my dear friends. This is one such partition. So the number of partitions are going to be 15, my dear friends. So there will be 15 number of equivalent relations that can be written from A to A, my dear friends. So I can say, yeah, dear friends, so in this way the paper is very comfortable and easy. We can do almost 22 to 23 questions comfortably can be answered within the time, right? Bye.
Welcome to the video solution of Grand Test 3 chemistry paper. I am Nitin Verma, a chemistry faculty at Infinity Learn by Sri Chaitanya. So let's start with the solution. First question, the incorrect statement among the following. So the second option is the incorrect statement because it's sodium hydride, hydrogen is minus, right? So if it liberates hydrogen, this is the process of oxidation and it has to occur at anode. The other statements are correct. In the second question, this is a theoretical one. High purity dihydrogen is obtained using warm aqueous barium hydroxide with nickel electrodes. The most abundant cation within the cell fluid is potassium ion, again a theoretical question. The incorrect statement among the following is a suspension of slaked lime. This is calcium hydroxide. This is called milk of lime, whereas milk of magnesia is magnesium hydroxide. Right? Other statements are correct. The correct statements are second, third and fourth. Why? Because carboxyhemoglobin is 300 times more stable. So this statement is incorrect. Carbon monoxide is a much stronger ligand than oxygen, so it binds much more strongly to hemoglobin than oxygen. So these statements are correct, this one is incorrect. Liquid CO2 is used as a solvent for dry cleaning, yes, and it is less harmful, yes, because the earlier chemical used for dry cleaning was maybe chlorine, right, and other harmful reagents, but carbon dioxide comparatively is less harmful. So first option is the correct answer. Which of the following statement is not correct about photochemical smog? The photochemical smog is actually oxidizing smog, it's not reducing. The other statements are correct, right? Then in this question, which statement regarding helium is correct? The first option, it is used in gas-cooled nuclear reactor, right? This statement is correct. The other are incorrect. It is used with oxygen definitely, but not because of high solubility, because of low solubility, right? And this is obviously incorrect. Here, the both statements are correct. Yes, global temperature increase also increases the incidence of infectious diseases, and ammonium salts are also formed, can be seen as atmospheric haze, right? In this, the correct answer is option 2. This is pretty easy. Bakelite is used in electrical switches, right? Glyptel is used in this, paints and lacquers, and urea formaldehyde and high density polythene in buckets and dustbins. So this is a theoretical question. You basically have to remember the uses or different types of polymers, right? Which of the following is used as food preservative? Of course, it is sodium benzoate, because sucralose and aspartame, they are artificial sweeteners, and sulfur dioxide is obviously harmful to us. Which one of the following is a cationic detergent? Cetyl trimethyl ammonium, right? So you can see ammonium cation, so it's positive ion. This is a cationic detergent, right? The other ones are not. So this is the correct answer. The glycosidic linkage between carbon 1 of alpha D glucose and carbon 2 of beta D fructose is definitely, it is sucrose, because sucrose is a disaccharide, right, formed by glucose and fructose, where the glycosidic linkage is between C1 and C2. The correct combination of vitamins, again a theoretical memory based, vitamin A, which causes night blindness, the others are mismatched. Triiodomethane, iodoform is used as antiseptic, yes, but the antiseptic action is not because of iodoform, it is because of the free iodine. So assertion is true, but reason is false. So the opposite of this is true. They are not due to iodoform, they are because of the free iodine. Regarding interstitial compounds, which statement is incorrect? They are chemically inert actually. The others are correct, but they are not chemically reactive, they are less reactive than the original metals. Chloramphenicol is given orally in case of typhoid, dysentery, acute fever, certain form of urine for infections. Yes. Chloramphenicol is a broad spectrum antibiotic. Yes. Right. So it is active against a wide range of gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. Many trivalent lanthanoids are colored in solid and aqueous state. Yes. And the color of these ions may be attributed to the presence of F electrons. Absolutely correct. So assertion is true, reason is true, reason is a correct explanation of assertion. Alright. For a linear plot of log x by m, so guys, log x by m is equal to log k plus 1 upon log p. This is the logarithmic form of the Freundlich adsorption isotherm, which basically is x by m k p 1 upon n, right? So if you convert this equation to logarithmic form, you will get log x by m, log k plus 1 upon log p, alright. So if you compare this equation with the equation of a straight line, on y-axis we have log x by m, on x-axis we have logarithm of pressure, and the slope is 1 upon n, right. So only 1 upon n appears as the slope, the intercept is log k. Transition metal complex with highest value of crystal field splitting energy is this. So you should remember guys, crystal field splitting energy in general, it increases across the series and it decreases down the group, right, in d block, because as we move down the group, right, so d orbitals are projected more outwards, so there is more stronger repulsions, which leads to greater crystal field splitting energy. The number of significant figures in this, significant figures are always determined from the decimal part. Of course, this has 4 significant figures. In the next question, the work function of sodium metal is given. So this is phi is given. If photons of wavelength 300 nanometer incident on a metal, the kinetic energy. So as per the Einstein's photoelectric equation, the maximum kinetic energy is the energy of incident photon minus work function. Energy of incident photon I can write as hc by lambda minus work function, right. Now you can substitute the values here, 6.626 into 10 raised to minus 34 into 3 into 10 raised to the power 8 divided by wavelength, which is given to be 300 into 10 raised to minus 9 meter, right. So this will give you the energy in joules minus the work function is given to be 4.41 into 10 raised to the power minus 19. From here you can calculate the kinetic energy in joules, and when you will adjust it to the power of minus 21, the part will be 222, right, the number will be 222. Nitrogen gas is bubbled through water at 293. How many moles of nitrogen gas would dissolve in 1 liter of water, assuming nitrogen exerts a partial pressure of 0.987 bar? A simple numerical based on Henry's law, which says that P is equal to KHX. So pressure is 0.987. Henry's law constant is 76.48 kilobar, right? So if you solve this, this will give you the mole fraction of nitrogen, right? This will give you mole fraction of nitrogen. From here you can calculate the value. Now the mole fraction of nitrogen is going to be equal to number of moles of nitrogen, right, divided by number of moles of nitrogen. Nitrogen is dissolved in water, so it will be number of moles of water. Because the Henry's law constant is very high, the solubility of the gas will be very low. As a result, I can ignore the number of moles of nitrogen, right. So I will only get number of moles of nitrogen. In the denominator will be ignored, right, remember, not in the numerator. So number of moles of nitrogen will be the mole fraction of nitrogen multiplied by number of moles of water. Now remember, in 1 liter, if we assume the density to be 1, right, so the number of moles is 55.55, right. So from this equation you calculate the value of mole fraction of nitrogen multiplied by 55.55, that is going to be the number of moles of nitrogen, which is approximately 7 into 10 raised to the power minus 4. How many of these statements are correct? 3 of them are correct. Enzyme diastase convert maltose to glucose? No, the enzyme maltase converts maltose to glucose, so this is incorrect. Zymase converts glucose into ethyl alcohol and CO2? Absolutely correct. Lactobacilli convert milk into curd? Yes. ZSM5 converts alcohols directly into gasoline? Yes, but not by hydrolysis, by dehydration. Decomposition of potassium chlorate requires manganese dioxide as the catalyst? Yes. So there are 3 statements that are correct. During estimation of nitrogen present in an organic compound, by Gildel's method, the ammonia involved from 0.5 gram of the compound was exactly neutralized by 10 ml of 1 molar H2SO4. Now guys, we know that H2SO4 will react with 2 ammonia, right, because in factor of sulfuric acid is 2, but that of ammonia is 1, right. So I can say that number of moles of sulfuric acid by number of moles of ammonia, it will be 1 by 2, right. They are stoichiometric coefficients. If I need 1 mole of H2SO4, I will need 2 mole of ammonia, right. So I can also write as number of moles of ammonia is equal to twice of number of moles of sulfuric acid. All right. Number of moles is molarity into volume. Molarity is 1, volume is 10. So please remember, the volume is in milliliter. You will not get moles, you will get millimoles. So this is going to be 20 millimoles. Now if you see, 1 mole of ammonia contains 1 mole of nitrogen atom. So I can say the number of moles of nitrogen, that is also equal to 20 into 10 raised to minus 3 mole, right? That is 20 millimole. 20 into 10 raised to minus 3 mole. Mass of nitrogen, of course, you will multiply it by 14 because atomic mass of nitrogen is 14. So 14 into 20 into 10 raised to the power minus 3. So how much is this going to be? 0.28 gram. So there is 0.28 gram of nitrogen in the compound. Now it's very easy. Percentage nitrogen is the mass of nitrogen, which is 0.28 divided by 0.5 into 100, right? So you can calculate this is going to be 56%, right? Next question, on complete combustion, 0.3 gram of an organic compound gives 0.2 gram of carbon dioxide and 0.1 gram of water. The percentage of carbon in the compound. A very simple question based on empirical formula. So carbon dioxide comes right from the compound. So I can say that 44 gram of carbon dioxide must contain 12 gram of carbon. How much CO2 are we getting? We are getting 0.2, right? So this will be 12 divided by 44 multiplied by 0.2, right? So 44 gram of CO2 contains 12 gram of carbon. I am getting 0.2 gram of CO2, so the amount of carbon would be this. Now very easy, the last step, percentage carbon in the compound would be the mass of carbon, right, divided by the mass of compound, which is 0.3 multiplied by 100, right? So you can calculate this very easily. So this is going to be 200 divided by 11. So answer is going to be approximately 18%, right? Number of hydroxyl groups in topinol is 1, right? There is only one OH group in topinol. At the cathodic reaction of dicyl, manganese is in MnO2 form, that is +4 state. It is reduced to MnOOH, that is +3 form, right? So it goes from +4 to +3. So the sum of X and Y is 7. 4 plus 3, 7, right? The number of unpaired electrons in gadolinium 2+, so it would be 4f7 and 5d1. So how many unpaired electrons are there? 8, right? Because F subshell has 7 orbitals. So each orbital would contain 1 electron each as per the Hund's rule, and 1 unpaired electron in D subshell. The number of copolymers. Copolymers having 2 different monomers, right? Polyethylene, as the name indicates, it's just a polymer of ethylene. Polyvinyl chloride, it's a polymer of vinyl chloride. Bakelite, yes, right? It's a phenol formaldehyde polymer, so yes, it's a copolymer. Buniene, yes, butadiene and acrylonitrile. Bunas, yes, butadiene and styrene. Polytetrafluoroethene, no, it's a polymer of tetrafluoroethene. So how many of these polymers are copolymers in nature? That is 3. Okay. So thank you for watching. Bye bye.